My goal is simple. I have until the end of 2025 to finish my backlog, and if I don't, I'll get a platinum tattoo somewhere on my body, and you guys get to vote where it goes. But here's the twist. For every 100 subscribers we gain, I'll add another platinum onto the backlog. Currently we have 23 games remaining in our backlog. So this week we are playing the LEGO Star Wars Force Awakens. This game has a massive 40 bronzes, 6 silver and 3 gold trophies on the way to our platinum. We will be splitting this game into 4 steps. First will be for completing the story and then going back through the missions again to collect all the red bricks, mini kits and finally getting true Jedi. Step 2 is for completing all the mini missions in the hub worlds, which are small objectives like races. Step 3 is for completing all the Star Wars adventure levels and then going back through them and getting all the collectibles again. And finally, step 4 for getting all the leftover miscellaneous trophies. Let's jump into step 1 though, which starts with a prologue mission, which basically explains what happened in Star Wars up until the point of this game. At the very start of the mission, we get our first trophy for rebuilding a multi-build object. Shortly after, we get into this cool kind of like Time Crisis shooting scene and we pop another 2 trophies. One for completing a blaster battle and another for completing a blaster battle without dying. We then play as Darth Vader and we defeat Lord Palpatine. And then we destroy the Death Star. Yay, prologue done and we're up to date on Star Wars. At the end screen we pop 2 trophies. One for completing the mission and another for getting our first true Jedi in a level. For the first mission we play as Poe Dameron and BB-8, where we need to make our way through tons of stormtroopers that have attacked a place called Jakku. And speaking of stormtroopers, we actually pop a trophy for defeating 50 of them. And in true stormtrooper fashion, we pop a trophy for missing 10 enemies whilst in a blaster battle. We then get caught by the stormtroopers and Kylo Ren comes to yeet this dude into oblivion. And then that's the mission done, and a trophy for completing it. On to the next mission and we have been taken captive to a ship. But we meet a character who is a stormtrooper but doesn't want to be one anymore, and he's called FN2187. He helps us escape the ship and we head back to Jakku to find BB-8. We then switch to a new character called Rey who saves BB-8. She then takes us back to her house. Is this what she's living in? You'd at least think she'd get some Skywalker money. I mean, wait, what? Spoiler, my bad.
Rey who? Rey Skywalker.
And then that's another mission down and another trophy. In the next mission, we head to an outpost called Nema, and here we find Finn, who has lost Poe after he crash landed. We soon get spotted by some stormtroopers though, so we have to escape on the Millennium Falcon. We have a cool chase scene until we finally escape and finish the mission, and boom, another trophy. On to the next mission, and we're floating in space, when we get picked up by Indiana Jones. No, wait, my bad, wrong game, I mean Han Solo. So we explain to Han Solo that BB-8 has important information regarding the location of Luke Skywalker and that he must take us to the Resistance. But before he can take us there, some people turn up that want some money from Han Solo. So yep, we do the only logical thing and release these big Raftal things. And yeah, what a surprise, that didn't go down too well. So now we have to defeat the Raftals so we can then escape back onto the Millennium Falcon. And that's the mission done, and another trophy. We then head to a place called Maz's Castle, because the owner, Maz, can help us find the Resistance base. But we meet Maz, and she gives us some speech about defeating the First Order, and Finn, being a stormtrooper, pushes out and wants to run to a different planet. Rey then decides to go into some underground vault because she can sense something there, which turns out to be a lightsaber. But when she touches it, it gives her some crazy hallucinations, which scares her, so she runs off. We then get a cutscene of the First Order doing a rally and destroying some planets with a massive laser beam. And we finish another mission and pop a trophy for it. Into the next mission, the First Order has invaded Maz's castle. So we go out to fight them and Finn is using a lightsaber now, which we used to fight this dude. But then Han Solo just shoots him. So yeah, GG's I guess. But our efforts wasn't enough and the First Order captures us. Not for long though, because the Resistance turns up and we take control of Poe flying around. And during this part, I get a trophy for defeating 100 TIE fighters. At the end of the mission, we then get a cutscene of Rey being interrogated by Kylo Ren. And then we pop the mission trophy. On to the next mission, and we're trying to open some blast doors so we can upload the data on Luke Skywalker to a terminal. I'm not gonna lie, this mission just felt so pointless, like bruh, just open the doors, what the hell is going on? Well anyway, whilst we're trying to open the doors, I pop a trophy for trying to use this terminal whilst playing as BB-8 instead of C-3PO. We finally make it through the door and put BB-8's data into the terminal, but guess what, it's only half completed, so we still can't find Luke Skywalker. Yay. Now we have more important things to worry about though, because the New Order is going to use that massive laser beam from earlier to destroy the planet we are on. So we set a plan to go to where the laser beam is located to destroy it. Before we can, first we've got to spend 30 minutes getting supplies and this dude ice cream. I mean, are you serious? This has more filler than One Piece. We finally collect all the supplies we need and then finish the mission, and then we pop another trophy. We then make it to where the laser beam is being kept, which is on a place called Starkiller Base. Inside the base, we have to fight a character called Captain Phasma, who we take care of and throw her in a dumpster, and then shut down the shield that is keeping the Starkiller Base safe. And that's the mission done. A nice quick one here, we love to see it, and especially that trophy pop. Now we switch characters to play as Poe to try and damage the Starkiller Base, but we are still unable to damage it. We then switch over to Rey, who's learnt the Force overnight and can now use it to control a stormtrooper to set her free. We make our way back to Han Solo and Finn for a vent, and now we set out to blow up the base with explosives. We plant 4 bomb charges, and then Kylo Ren turns up and does my boy Han Solo dirty, and ends him Darth Maul style. Imagine a POV of me livid at this in the cinema. Well anyway, that's the mission done and another trophy. Now we have a fight against Kylo Ren, which was actually pretty cool and kind of made me forgive them for killing Han Solo. And at the end we get to beat the shit out of Kylo Ren, just like what Kratos did to Zeus. Well, maybe not that intense. We then pop our story trophy, which should be here, but my recording software decided to absolutely rug pull my game recordings harder than the hook to a girl. So sorry for the last 3 story trophies, but let's carry on with the story and pretend the trophies are still popping. Now we're on to the Epilogue mission, where we go find Luke Skywalker finally. And it was only like a 15-minute mission, so it was a really fun way to close out the game, and we should pop 2 trophies here. One for the mission and another for finishing the story. So now we just need to go back through all the same missions again, but this time on free to play, so we can use different characters to get all the red bricks, mini kits and true Jedi's done. But before we can do that, we need to do the adventure mission, Poe to the rescue, so we can unlock the character Admiral Akbar. The mission is pretty straightforward. All we need to do is help Admiral Akbar escape, and then we unlock the character and also a trophy. And now with all the characters unlocked, we can now make our way through all the missions again, and at the end of the first mission, we pop a trophy for collecting all the mini kits in one level. And with the main story quest done, we can move on to step 2. This part is super straightforward, but a little bit of a grind. All we're doing is completing different tasks for random people, with the end goal to collect all gold bricks so we can do all the adventure levels I spoke about earlier. So the first trophy we get in this step is for completing all the scavenger missions, which are basically what they sound like. We do a random objective collecting items for characters. The next one is for completing all the bounties, so basically just hunting down different characters. Next is for completing all the random missions for the First Order characters. And shortly after, another for completing all the races. Now all that's left is the Resistance Missions trophy, which I popped not too long after. So now we're on to step 3, which is very similar to step 1, but this time it's for smaller missions called Adventures, which are unlocked when we collect a certain amount of gold bricks. So just like before, we'll complete them and go back through for the collectibles. The first adventure we do is called Raftar Hunting. So this adventure basically acts like a prologue to why Han Solo has the Raftars on that ship, because he was capturing them to sell them, so all we're doing in this mission is capturing them, which of course we fly through, and that's adventure done and also a trophy for it. The next adventure we do is the Crimson Corsair. For this, we play as these wannabe resistance fighters who are tasked to rescue an important item from a stormtrooper base. We make it through the base fairly quick, and it turns out the item we are collecting is a ship. Very exciting, but not gonna lie, I actually laughed at this ending.
I'm not cleaning it up again.
The next adventure is Lawsan Tekka's Return. This adventure, we basically play as Lawsan Tekka, who is a person that originally finds the map fragment with the location to Luke Skywalker. And we are travelling to Jakku to deliver it to Poe. Pretty fun mission, and here's the trophy for completing it. Next, we are on to Trouble Over Tall. This adventure has us playing as Captain Phasma invading a Resistance spaceship, because they believe there's an important Resistance member on board. And it turns out there is, and it's 3CPO. But he escapes, and that's the mission done, and another trophy. The final adventure we do is Octagon Assault. This adventure is basically a prologue to the very first main mission and how Kylo Ren knew to go to Jakku for information on Luke Skywalker, which he finds out by completely destroying this city and then interrogating one of the members of the Resistance for information. And then he does this by shaking upside down, of course. Well, anyway, we finished the adventure and popped 3 trophies. One for completing the level, another for completing all the adventure levels, and finally one for getting all true Jedis. True Jedis are basically just for getting a certain amount of studs, which is the currency of LEGO games, inside a mission. Now I go back through all the levels again for the collectibles, and on the last one, I pop a trophy for collecting all the mini-kits. Now we're on to the final step, which we very quickly breeze through. So the first trophy I pop is for buying all the red bricks. Next I get the trophy for getting 100% in the game, which I got whilst buying the characters. The next trophy I actually popped by complete random, which is why the recording is so bad. I was just playing one of the DLC missions when I accidentally popped the trophy for using Kylo Ren's Force Choke. Now we're on to the final hurdle, and these pop super fast, so let's jump into it. First, we get a trophy for creating our own custom character. The next one is for completing a full level whilst playing as Maz Kanata and Chewbacca, which was fairly easy, so I just did the first mission again. Next, we pop a trophy for playing as Unkar Plutt whilst on the Millennium Falcon. We then go back into the prologue to pop a trophy for defeating an enemy as Han Solo whilst they are preparing to attack us. Next is for defeating Finn whilst playing as FN2199. Then we defeat Kylo Ren whilst playing as Darth Vader. Then we play as Kylo Ren and Han Solo for another trophy. Now we need to put a Stormtrooper hat on Maz Kanata, which we can do on one of the hub worlds. Then we need to go back into the mission Starkiller base so we can destroy all the computer terminals whilst playing as Kylo Ren. And then finally a trophy for playing as Han Solo and Chewbacca whilst on the Millennium Falcon. And there's our platinum, let's go! This game was fun, but definitely a game I could not wait to get finished and off the backlog. I don't know why, but LEGO games can just be so difficult to talk about. So if you guys made it this far, thank you, and I hope this wasn't too much of a snooze fest for you. And oh yeah, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and join the Discord.